At this time, will Chaplain Meadus please come forward for the invocation?
All-powerful and ever-living God, in the Hebrew Scriptures we read Abraham left his native land and departed from his people, and in that journey you kept him safe. Protect these airmen. Be their constant companion and their strength as they engage their mission with the proud heritage of the Green Mountain Boys. In the challenges of deployment, be their refuge and grant them patience and wisdom. May their families and friends who await their return know your loving presence, O God, and the gratitude of our Guard family, our state, and our nation for their sacrifice and support of these airmen. Bless these deployers, their families, our great state, and bless the beacon of freedom for the world, the United States of America. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Staff Sergeant Tristan Menard from the 158th Security Forces Squadron. On behalf of the 158th Vice Wing Commander, Colonel Adam Rice, welcome to today's deployment recognition ceremony. At this time, I would like to introduce our leadership and distinguished guests in attendance today. Please hold all applause until the end of the introductions. Assistant Adjutant General Air Brigadier General Henry Harder, 158th Vice Wing Commander Colonel Adam Rice, John Tracy, a representative for Senator Patrick Leahy, all commanders, chiefs, and first sergeants, as well as honorary commanders, members from the American Legion, airmen of the Vermont Air National Guard, and especially the families of our deploying Green Mountain Boys watching here and from home. I now invite Assistant Adjutant General Brigadier General Henry Harder to come forward for his remarks to our airmen and families.
Thank you. We'll welcome all, especially our family and friends of our deployers and those watching online, and our airmen that are about to go out the door and do the nation's business. On behalf of Major General Greg Knight and our Chief of Staff, Brigadier General Steve Lambrick, I'm so honored and proud to be here watching the airmen before you get ready to do the job that they've trained for so long. My comments will be short. We know you are ready, and whether you've deployed before or this is your first deployment, you've trained for this, you've worked with your team for this, and you know that you have the 1,000-person wing behind you as you go downrange to do the job that you've been called to do. For the family and friends out there, this is a special time and also a time with some anxiety. The nation is going through a challenging time, but our nation's work continues to need to be done by the airmen before you. Please know that we have your back. Reach out. We have a robust family readiness program. I know Colonel Rice is going to have some comments here on the same vein here in a few minutes. But when one or more of our airmen deploy, all of us deploy. And please know we're here to support you through the weeks and months that come forward. And for our airmen, once again, so proud of you. You're ready. We look forward to your safe return, and we'll be with you the whole way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, General Harder. These airmen that stand before you have answered our nation's call, like so many Green Mountain Boys before them. They will continue to ensure that our country's ideals are preserved so that we may continue to live in a nation that values our freedom, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It is my pleasure to present the 158th Vice Wing Commander, Colonel Adam Rice.
Good morning. So Colonel Shevchuk, our wing commander, was traveling this past week in some areas that are redder than most, or redder than Vermont, so he's taken the time to isolate and get tested and not risk any of us. But I know he's watching, hopefully on Facebook land, because I know how proud he is of you airmen. So on behalf of Colonel Shevchuk, 158th Fighter Wing Commander, good morning, women and men of the Green Mountain Boys and families. We're honored to have you here today as we recognize our deploying members and their families. And I think it's appropriate that we recognize you just 5 days after an important time in our American history, when we and a record number of our fellow citizens voted for candidates in the executive and legislative branches of government at the national, state, and local levels. It's important to note that you will all be serving in a deployed location when the United States of America, unlike many other non-democratic nations, will execute the peaceful transition of power and civilian control of our military to those elected officials. Some of the election results remain contested, are subject to recounts and runoffs, and may not be official for some time. But whatever the outcome, know that your service and the service of those that came before you has guaranteed the rights and freedoms our Constitution affords by the people and for the people to allow these free and fair elections. As a citizen who voted, I thank each of you for giving me that freedom. A number of our airmen have already deployed as part of this RCP cycle, with you all departing over the next few weeks and months. As many of you know, in a fighter wing, aviation package deployments typically depart within the same few days and go to the same location. This is different, but equally important, and makes the RCP deployment unique, special, and vital to our national defense strategy. Our team, your loved ones, have been called upon to meet a spectrum of diverse operational and professional demands at multiple locations for an approximate 6-month duration. Also critical and integral to our national defense and deployed support infrastructure. You've answered that call and stepped up to do what less than 1% of our population does, serve in the U.S. military. And even less than that, you now deploy in support of our nation's calling. Thank you. I know it's not easy on you or your loved ones, especially amidst an already challenging environment with COVID. You've been flexible with reporting requirements and adapted within a time of great change, but still remain committed to the mission. Know that your wing, your headquarters, your state, and your nation are proud of you and appreciate your dedication and commitment. And know that you carry with you the reputation of the Green Mountain Boys and the 158th Fighter Wing, because you are that reputation. You've built it, you've inspired it, you perpetuate it, and it makes it even better. To the families and loved ones of our team, thank you for supporting them and enduring a challenging physical absence. Thankfully, in the age of technology, you should be able to stay connected regularly. And please know that our wing team here will check in and is always ready and willing to help in any possible way. The Guard is a family, and this wing is a special family, and nobody goes through it alone. Thank you all for taking precious time to be here today. Know that you are a special group. We'll stay engaged with you and your families, and we'll eagerly await and celebrate your return. May God bless you and keep you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Colonel Rice. At this time, I would like to invite our American Legion Vermont State Commander Ron LaRose and Northern Area Commander Tom Scanlon to accompany Colonel Rice and Command Chief Stebbins to present our airmen with 2 flags. The first flag being presented to our deployers, the Service Star Flag, also called the Blue Star Flag, designed by World War I Army Captain Robert L. Kuisner of the 5th Ohio Regiment. This flag quickly became the symbol of a child in service. This tradition became much more widespread during World War II and has lived on to modern times. The intent is that a family member will display this flag in a window to signify they have a son or daughter that is currently servicing the armed forces in a period of war or hostilities. The second flag being presented to our deployers, our Green Mountain Battle Flag, one of the more well-known Revolutionary War era flags that dates back to August 16, 1777. The green represents Vermont's Green Mountains, and the 13 white stars represent the 13 original American colonies. This flag has remained a renowned symbol of our Vermont Air and Army National Guard and is often recognized by fellow services wherever it is flown. Please take this small representation of our proud heritage and let it be a reminder that wherever you are serving and to whatever unit you belong, you are and will always be a Green Mountain boy. Thank you, General, Colonel, and members of the American Legion. It is tradition that the commander present a Green Mountain Battle Flag to the ranking airmen in their area of responsibility as they depart. Will Lieutenant Colonel Romp please step forward? Colonel Rice and General Harder will now present Green Mountain Battle Flags to these airmen. To those receiving them and those deploying with them, let it be a beacon that although you are with outstanding airmen from the active duty, Air Force Reserve, and fellow Air National Guard units, know there are Green Mountain boys from the world's premier fighter wing on watch, and we belong to something greater than ourselves. Finally, to the families of our deployers, if at any time during this deployment you should find yourselves needing assistance in any capacity, please reach out to us. We are a family that will take care of each other. We thank you for your love, commitment, and unconditional support that enables each member to go forth and carry out the mission. This concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for attending and recognizing these Green Mountain Boys. Please enjoy the rest of your day.